Hey, you are watching DL.TV, the show that makes technology fun. Woohoo! Hey, I'm Robert Heron. I had to say it that way. I just wanted to. And that is Patrick Norton.
With a laser keyboard that's connected to nothing. It's like Zen typing. If you type and nothing writes it down, does it really exist? Google, interview, cool stuff.
Matt Cutts.
Yeah, actually, Matt talked to us for like 45 minutes. We showed you some of the interview last week. This week, we're going to fire up a big fat pile of Google tips. Some of them are pretty secret. Some of them are pretty obvious. But you know what? I've always been shocked. Like, there's just so much that you think is everybody should know, but they don't. You know what, Matt? List of Google search tips. Awesome stuff. Let's fire that up.
So, tips.
Yeah.
Google search tips.
The most basic, and it sounds like everybody should know it, but not everybody does, is use double quotes. So if you have a phrase, if you want to match only Patrick Norton, you put it in double quotes. If you want to match Patrick Norton, but you don't want to match, I don't know, Ziff Davis, use the minus sign. So use minus to exclude terms. Little trivia fact, you don't have to use double quotes, you can also use dashes. So you can do Patrick-Norton, and that'll do what we call a phrase match on Patrick Norton. You can also, we'll do some smart stuff. So if you do a search for like Opera Labs, Opera, the browser, also has a research lab. And if you misspell it and it just says OPER lab, we'll like spell correct it. We know about synonyms and stemming and all sorts of. But suppose you actually did mean Oper Labs instead of Opera Labs. If you had the plus instead of in front of a word, that will mean don't do anything special, don't show me synonyms, don't show me spelling. I really meant this really weird word. So use a plus if you want exactly that word.
Okay.
You can do all sorts. We basically have the philosophy of somebody should be able to type anything into the box, and we'll try to do something reasonable. So you can type in package tracking like FedEx and UPS. You can type in flight numbers. You can type in stuff like time in Zurich. There's a really nice calculator, and it can do natural logarithms. There's an Easter egg where you can say, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? And it'll say 42. Then you can actually use that in the calculator, so you can add 1 or 2 to it.
Some of our users tipped me onto the conversions, which I now use constantly because it's, turning bytes into terabytes.
And you can also do currency conversions. So you can say $5 in yen, and it'll say, that's about 660 yen. And so it's all just sort of built into Google search box. One thing that people don't know is you can type define, colon. So if you type in a word like collegial or something like that, it turns out Firefox's spell checker doesn't work on collegial. I was like, collegial, that's a real word. So I'm going to Google and double checking it. You just type define, colon, collegial, and it's like, okay, yeah, here's the definition. And not everybody knows, but if you just type in like a multi-word phrase, in the top right corner of the browser, there will be a little, do you want a definition, or do you want to click on a link, and it'll take you to a definition. So it's like your spell check and your dictionary just sort of built in. But another one is you can look for specific file types. So suppose if you're a younger viewer, you're in high school, you've got to do a PowerPoint presentation on the Civil War, and imagine you're lazy, right? You go to Google, you type in.
Difficult.
But you don't want to do the work, or maybe you want to have a PowerPoint to start off with. You go to Google and you type in Civil War file type colon PPT, and that will return Civil War PowerPoint presentation.
Is that file type in one word?
File type all one word.
Okay.
Yep. So, and you can do file type doc, file type XLS.
That sounds much more efficient than like a name and then star.ppt.
Yeah. Totally, it's really nice, and you can just say file type almost anything. I think other than maybe MP3, we don't allow MP3 searching because that's part of the Larry Page doesn't want to go to jail program, which is that's a good idea too.
I wanted to say thanks to Matt and all the other fine folks at Google who got us in the door. We got a lot more coming from Matt. He had a ton of good tips. We couldn't fit them all in this piece, so we're actually going to do another one.
Another installment of Matt Cutts coming soon.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Actually, we're going to fire.
Cool.
And more Google. It's just amazing.
That gentleman is knee deep in all of it, and he not only understands how the engine works on his own end, but he also deals with the abuses of the system that take place, and basically not only provides you good ways of promoting your own site, but avoiding that whole where he has to get involved and say, we're going to delist you because you're doing some funny things there with your code.
Plus, you got a bunch of good search tips. So
that too.
More Matt Cutts, more search tips for Google on Thursday, and more sort of, I just love the currency converter. Who knew there's a currency converter in there?
I use it all the time.
Well,
I need to know.
See?
Those Europe-only discs I'm trying to buy, or the Japanese-only titles, and it's like, what does that equal? I don't know, but Google can tell me.
Yay.
Or it's easier simply to go to Google and just type in, please convert this to something else. It told me what once in a blue moon equals. Who knew that there was an actual numeric value for once in a blue moon? And it's a rather small number, I've learned.
But not 42.